Hey, what's up, Swordaxe here. Sorry for not posting for the last 2 weeks. It's April now, so it's like final exams and big assignments that are happening. So for the last 2 weeks I've been focusing on that. I'm almost done. I only have like one huge exam left. And yeah, and also I was running out of things to do for Vanguard videos since I did most of my deck. I already did some deck profile, most of the deck profiles on all the decks I have. This one is just an update deck profile, I guess you can say. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the Nubatama Legion, which I finally was able to do. I was pretty hesitant on doing this deck profile because I'm still playing around with this deck. I'm not like confident or like I'm still playing around with how many cards I'm running in this set, but so far this set has been doing pretty well, so might as well just do a deck profile on that. So yep, so let's just get started with it. So again, it's basically like an update, so not much has changed with the card list. So obviously, starting Vanguard, we're still running Kuroko. If you don't remember what he does, he's Soul Blast 1 when he boosts Vanguard. When he attacks, when he boosts a unit that attacks hits the Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 1 and you can drop 2 cards from your opponent's bind zone into the drop zone. So yeah, like I said before, this is like one of the better Nubatama starters. And yeah, nothing much else to say. Again, it's going to be pretty much a similar deck list with the Break Ride deck profile. So yeah. Next we run 4 of the Legion. Sure Stealth Dragon, Mandoracongo. Yeah, so obviously since he's the Legion, he will obviously run 4. And his ability is really good actually. So his ability is Counter Blast 1 and choose a card with the same name as a unit in your Vanguard circle from your hand and discard it. When this unit is a Legion, and if your opponent has 4 more cards in their hand, you can choose 2 cards at random in your opponent's hand and bind them face down. Then choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind them face up. Then at the end of the turn, they go back to their opponent's hand. This is really good because first of all, like it's an active ability. So if your opponent has more than 4 cards and you have more copies of the Legion or his mate in your hand, you can just keep counterblasting and ditching cards with your opponent, binding your opponent's cards. I did this. I remember I was battling one of my friends and I had another copy of him and the mate in my hand, and my opponent had 6 cards in their hand. So to counterblast, ditch 2 copies of them. I bound 6 cards from their hand, which was really good. Yeah, and his second ability is when the unit attacks a Vanguard, he gets plus 3k. So Legion will be attacking for 23. So yeah, it's pretty good. This is a really good Legion, I say. It's pretty nice. And because it's an active ability, you can activate it as many times as you want if you have the cost. Next grade 3 I run 3 Kabukicongo. He's the Limit Breaker, so Counter Blast 1. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, you can bind all your opponent's rear guard, and if you bind 3 or more, he gets plus 10k. So even without Limit Break, if you manage to bind at least 3, you're getting plus 10. Yeah, and his other ability is Counter Blast 1. This unit gets plus 2k, so he'll be 13 when you attack. And yeah, he's really good if you don't run the Break Ride. So yeah. Yeah. And last, I run 1 of the Break Ride. Yeah, this is just, I don't know, I've just been playing around with it, and yeah, it's alright. I could use it for Stride Fodder, yeah, if you plan to run Stride. So his Break Ride's ability is when Nubatama unit rides this unit, if you have Limit Break 4, you get plus 10k, and you choose a card from your opponent, choose a card from their hand and discard it, and choose another card from their hand and bind it face down. And then second ability is when the number of number of cards in your opponent's hand is 3 or less, this unit gets plus 2k, and Lord. So yeah, this is just like for that one, if I don't have Mandoracongo out, I can just ride him and then break ride. But yeah, I only run one because, you know, limit breaking is kind of like late game now, and this is not really meh. It slows the game down. Alrighty, for grade 2s, we run 4 of Shura Stealth Dragon, Daranicongo. Yeah, so he's the mate of the Mandoracongo, so you run 4 of him. And he's actually pretty good. He is basically a Kuroko clone. So, ability is, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if your Vanguard is in Legion, this unit gets plus 2k, and the ability is Soul Blast 1. When this unit attack hits the Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's bind zone and put them into the drop zone. So, yep, basically a Kuroko clone with a plus 2k when your Vanguard is in Legion. So, yeah, so, again, your Vanguard has to be in Legion for this ability to work, but this is just adding pressure. Like, do you want me to send your cards to the drop zone? And yeah, well, so they either will have to guard it or not guard it. So yeah. Next you run, 3 of Kokujyo. He's the plus 2k for every bind card in the bind zone. That get put into the bind zone. So have him out and then like use Mandoracongo and miraculously bind at least like 6 cards. That's 12. That's 12k. That's 12k of added power. So that'll be 21. Yeah. So not 21. I think 21. About that. Yeah, 21 or 23. One of the two. But yeah, really good card, especially paired up with a lot of the binders, like the Break Ride, Kabukicongo, and obviously the Legion. And lastly, we run 3 Bears, Tamahagane. So he's the, when he's placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, you can choose one of your opponents to Rearguard and bind them. So yeah, you want to run him because he binds. And yeah, and that's about it for this one. On to grade, fixed mat. On to grade 1s, we run 4 Dreadmaster, BT1, set 1. Dreadmaster is good because Blast 1, when the attack hits any unit that Dreadmaster boosts, you can Blast 1. If your opponent has more cards than you and more cards in their hand than you do, they drop 1. So yeah, again, it's just pressure. And yeah, and this deck is pretty Blast heavy. Yeah, so be wary of your counterblasts. Because you're going to run out of counterblasts very easily with this deck, so be wary of that. But yeah, good card from the old set. So yeah, and Bushiroad, please add some on flippers, like Nubatama on flippers for Nubatama. Next you run 3 8K, AK boosts, AK attacking. It's really good. Nothing else to say about the AKs. Next I run 2 Fuukis. Again, so his ability is Counterblast 1, put him into Soul. There's a mistake, it's not less, 3 or less, it's 3 or more. If your opponent has 3 or more cards in their hand, you can bind 1. So yeah, only run 2 because again, this deck is already like Counterblast heavy. You want to save Counterblast for either Dreadmaster or a grade 0 I have, which you probably might know what it is, or Mandoracongo, your Legion. So yeah, just run 2. And finally, we run 4 Perfect Guards, because this is the only Perfect Guard they have. Bushiroad, please, more Nubatama support. I know they're getting some stuff in the Fighters collection, which I'm excited for. Can't wait for it, but we need more stuff than that. Alright, for grade 0s, we run 2 Hagakure. He wasn't in my previous deck profile, but he's just there because just to piss off your opponent. He is Caramelist 1 when he's placed on the Guardian Circle. If your opponent has more cards than you in hand than you do, you can force them to drop one. So yeah, run only 2 because again, counterblasting deck, very counterblast heavy so far. And then trigger lineup. Run 8 crits, 8 crits. Finally, second crit for Nubas. Oh my god, finally, getting some support finally. Yeah, yeah. So if you're lucky to find like the second crit trigger, which was a promo, then you consider yourself lucky. Otherwise, one of my stores sells this for $3, a $3 trigger, which is pretty expensive, but not as expensive as I think a Darky regular. I think it was a Darky regular crit trigger, which was like $5. Yeah, so 8 crits, 4 draws, because I'm not sure about how I feel about the stands, and yeah, draw for more draw power, and 4 heals, because obviously heals are going to heal, and yeah, I guess we could talk about stride units. As of right now, the Fires Collection stuff is not even out in Japan yet, so you're going to be stuck with either Atmos, which is going to be hurt. It's going to hurt because it's Counterblast 1, so more counterblasting. But this is a good ender because it's Counterblast 1 and this card gets plus 10k, so a lot of pressure. So 4 Atmos probably, and then either one of these two, or 2-2. Yeah, so either Heat Magnum or Harmonics Messiah, which is a basic 16k. So yeah. So you have to go Cray Elementals for striding in this Nubatama deck. This if you want to run strides, probably. Well, you probably do if you want a G assist, in case. So yeah. So strides until Fires Collection come out in English. These are the strides you're stuck with. Unless you play, I don't know, Unlimited. Which, I don't know, I guess you could use any stride. But yeah. And yeah, that's about it for this deck profile. Again, I'm still playing around with this deck, with the lineup. It could change. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it for this deck profile. Again, I'll try to figure out what to do for new videos. Maybe I might try something new. Maybe something different from Vanguard. Who knows? Anyways, that's all. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.